Yes, it has finally happened. A massive return this weekend in AEW. Can't believe I'm going to say this. Gangrel is back in a wrestling ring. This week on Wrestling with the Business.
Cue in 3, 2, 1.
And here we go. Episode 59, Wrestling with the Business podcast. We got Jeremy, Matt, and Dan. I thought you were talking about my return to the show when you're talking massive return.
Wow.
Just kidding.
He's on the level of the devil
You
right
want
now.
to ease into it, you know? You don't want to push it.
We got an episode for you this week of just about everything. We got some recaps, we got some reviews, we got some releases,
Some
got
returns.
some injuries, and most importantly, we have a return. And MJF, our leading story for this week, returns at Double or Nothing. I was completely wrong on everything that you know
what was your text? Your text was perfect when Matt texted
Fuck
you.
me.
I read it more like fuck me.
Everything that I had been hoping for just didn't go that way.
I had my phone open when the message came up, and I was writing to Dan saying, "There's still hope for the next Royal Rumble."
But I don't know what. So what did they? So when you texted me, you kind of made it imply like they teased it. Were you watching the video before you saw him?
Live.
I was watching. I mean, I knew from the time Adam Cole came
Right.
out, I knew that MJF was going to be back.
But so I mean, he's there. He's back. Obviously, with a big rivalry with probably Adam Cole now moving forward.
I don't know.
No, you think they're gonna skip over it for a while?
That might have been.
That felt like Adam Cole's not going to be back anytime soon. We're ending it here and now. We'll revisit
Let's
it down the
start something
road.
new.
I'm going to start something new. That's what it felt like to me.
Interesting. I didn't watch Dynamite. Was he there last night? MJF?
No, he'll be on next week.
Oh. So, classic shocker, the return, Mr. AEW. What's your thoughts on it? I mean, it's definitely what AEW needs is shake it up a little bit.
They need some big names to come back. So yeah, I'm thrilled. And you know it's official because he got it tattooed on him. So, hey, that's permanent.
Bet on yourself, people. That's the inspiration. That's the motto.
Not many details on. Obviously, he has a contract with AEW. I haven't seen too much on what those details could be, long term, any type of financial structure. So we don't really know what that is, but clearly he's back. It would probably go to the fact that he probably signed a while ago, even though I was living on to hope. I'm sure there were some others living on to the hope that he would go to WWE. You know, John Cena teasing it a little bit, Cody Rhodes teasing it a little bit about how they talked to him, and you know, maybe that can happen down the road. But it looks like for now and for the future, he's going to be with AEW.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other place for him. He did this gimmick change is very interesting. He came out, I thought he was like Andrew Dice Clay or something. I thought he was going to come out.
He was cosplaying as Triple H.
I mean, kind of almost, yeah, with like this weird jean jacket thing. He looked like
that was his 2002 return from his
no
quad
shirt,
injury.
jean jacket, the jeans.
Eddie Vedder or something.
He's just half the size of Triple H. That's all. That's why it didn't look that right.
Triple H did come back
smaller.
with the jean jacket and jeans, and after injury,
The leather jacket with the jean vest. Yep.
Yeah, and
I
he
wore that for a while.
stomped out the devil mask or whatever. So he officially said goodbye to the old gimmick. He hung the suit up. So it'll be interesting to see.
I think overall,
the Wolf, probably is what I'm guessing they're going to call it.
The Wolf of AEW or whatever, or
AEW.
Wolf of Wrestling, whatever. I think overall he'll still be the same. He'll still cheat, but he'll be like more of a badass babyface than he said no more kangaroo kicks, so no more goofiness, but he'll be more of a badass babyface.
he's going to be like the Undertaker Dead Man guy. When he was kind of like, he's just a badass, is doing what he wants to do, whether it's dirty, whether it's not. I mean, he's just going to do it.
It'll be interesting to see how they set the tone for it, because Story has always been the real attraction to MJF. Story's something that they've been developing across the other areas of AEW. Now we're putting MJF back into it 5 or 6 months later. It'll be interesting to see if they keep going with that story, because it's going to be hard to follow up on the double clothesline, baby, plot line. So
I'm still looking for that shirt, by the way.
How long do you think until he has a title on him?
I don't think he wants one right now.
Yeah.
And there's no good title for him right now.
So let me ask you a question. If it's not Adam Cole and he's not going for the title, where does he go? Is someone going to come out and challenge him when he returns next week? Is he going to bump into someone in the hallway and all of a sudden it's a
Let's see.
I mean, who is there for him to go after?
Who hasn't he feuded with yet? Maybe he starts out with someone like Christian or something. Let that go for a couple months, and then
Chris Jericho, maybe.
Maybe Jericho.
Forbidden Door's
Revisit
next. He might point across the pond and find somebody to. I mean, they're doing all the setups for Forbidden Door now. They're setting stuff up early.
It's only a month away.
So
it's the next big show.
Well, for Tony Khan, that's very early. So
true.
Especially given that a lot of the matches are being. There's not a lot of. I haven't seen a lot of NJPW involvement. It's all localized setup. So the fact that he's not involved, for sure, we'll find out Wednesday, I think. But
I got him. So Adam Cole wasn't on Dynamite at all last week?
Nope.
No, he's gone. I think that was it. They kicked him in the balls, and that's the end of it.
I mean, he's definitely not cleared to wrestle, but surprisingly, he took a brain buster in the ring, which floored me. But yeah, he's not going to come back for a while still, I think.
Be interesting to see. They kept it all a secret. It was a big, this return was pretty well orchestrated, and
he can pretty much feud with anybody, though. I mean, that's the brilliance of the situation. So,
has he had another title at AEW? Or he only the world title, right? He hasn't
held the tag titles.
Tag, yeah.
No, Ring of Honor. They were Ring of Honor tag titles. Yeah. That's right. The Diamond Ring. That's the only other thing.
Yeah,
the
Diamond
which
champion.
He still has.
So, I don't know. I think, they could literally do anything with him, and I think it'll be golden. And he looked like he was in great shape. Mm-hmm. Looked like he was ready to go. He hadn't lost a beat. So,
well, I know you two are happy. I'm disappointed.
The crowd loves him.
I was
no
looking
matter
for something
what.
different. I was looking for the first official AEW. I think what's the word I'm trying to come up with? Defecting from AEW to WWE, but that didn't happen.
The crowd was waiting for a swerve. I mean, they started playing the video, and I'm like, "Where's the pop?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the pop?" Even when the suit came up, I'm like, "Where's?" They pulls the picture on. No pop, no pop. It wasn't until his music. There was like zero trust there.
So they thought it was just going to be a tease video. I did notice it was very quiet when the video was going on.
Yeah, maybe they thought it would be a tease, or maybe they thought it'd be MJF on a video or something, or wouldn't be MJF at all. It would just be him, trolling them or something, or it'd be some teaser where his symbol pops up or something, and we're all like, or he'd come out of the crowd,
Now, last question: would you consider this AEW's first major return of someone of that caliber?
Homegrown return, yeah.
I would say so, yeah.
Out of injury, out of whatever you want to call it. Is this like I can't think of too many hardcore returns in AEW.
The only other one would have been Darby, probably.
I mean, he blacked out his Twitter for 5 months. It was totally empty, and then as soon as he came back, I think he had the tweet set to go off as soon as his music hit, because literally it ding on my phone just as he came out. So, it was like a complete blackout on social media,
except
and whatnot.
For that one interaction with
The Rock. Yeah, he commented on The Rocks. But
well, I'm interested to see what the details are on the contract and why he came back, because I really, it'd be interesting. And we always hear the details down the road as things go on, like who did he talk to at WWE? I'd be very surprised if he didn't have at least one conversation with someone at WWE. It had to have been.
Of course, he'd be stupid not to.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, we don't know when he signed this contract. A lot of people said way back months ago before he even left, and it just happened now. It'd be interesting to really see what type of communication transpired with WWE, if any at all. I'm waiting to see that.
All right, before we jump into the news really quickly, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell us below what you think of MJF's return. Please don't be shy about it. Lord knows MJF wouldn't be shy with you. Gauntlet this week. Speaking of news, do we know the category yet?
Do we know the winner of last week yet?
Well, yes, he got 1. I got 4. You got 15.
Oh, I didn't even see his yet.
So, yeah, actually, did you even do one? I'm thinking of 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you're thinking of 2 weeks ago.
No, I didn't.
Did you even do one? Although I think I still only got 4.
I can't beat 12. I tried doing it in my head.
It was 12, yeah.
I can't pick a topic until just before we record, so I'm going to have
That's
to wait.
only fair. Although he has picked a topic, he's cheating right now.
I'm over here looking away.
That's why he keeps winning. Okay, let's get into the news. So, speaking of surprise kind of returns, I guess. Technically, it is a return, but not really. TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace appeared on NXT this week as a surprise challenger for the NXT Women's Championship against Roxanne Perez. Got a huge pop from the crowd, which actually I was shocked because her music hits and there's a little pop, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I expect. TNA, WWE,
not many people know.
WWE fans like, okay, and then it started to escalate. Then they're like, oh, I remember her from the Royal Rumble. Oh, she's a badass. I remember her. She had a couple really good spots. Oh, okay. So, very interesting. In addition, I heard that she's making 6 figures for 3 appearances.
3 appearances, 6 figures.
I'm very curious.
That's a lot.
So that was the first appearance. So the next one's got to be.
I thought Rumble. I thought Rumble was.
No. This is the first one.
Yeah. Okay.
And then what's the pay-per-view coming up?
It's Battleground. It's like June 12th or something.
That's her last appearance is the pay-per-view. I think she has.
So the next
I think she has
one's just
one
gonna be a
NXT
promo or
like
something?
either 2 weeks from now or 2 weeks before the pay-per-view.
If I'm a betting man, she's gonna see maybe 10% of that. If I'm a betting man, a huge chunk of it's going to TNA, and then her agent and her manager and blah 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 blah, all the way down the line. So
I don't know about that. You don't think she's only seeing 10%?
I mean, less than 25. I'm like really confident in saying before the tax man gets to her. Yeah. Again, I bet you TNA's getting 50% right off the top. I'll bet you they get half.
Battleground.
Yep.
That's the pay-per-view.
Yeah, but which city? It's Battleground. They name it after the city.
No, they don't
just
do
says
that.
Battleground.
They don't do that anymore?
Not since takeovers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. So very interesting. They're talking about doing more TNA and NXT crossovers. There's been a lot of talk on the internet right now, and I have to ask both of you guys, what NXT TNA crossover would you guys like to see?
Dolph Ziggler returns to WWE.
as the world champion.
Is that a crossover? Okay, but he has to go for the North American Championship. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, NXT isn't as...
I think NXT is going to be showing up at some TNA shows. I don't know, probably... I mean, who's the NXT champion now? Trick Williams?
Yeah.
If he showed up in TNA on an Impact or something?
You know what? Out of pure respect, I'm going to say Speedball Mike Bailey. He deserves
Goes
it.
to NXT?
Yep, I think he deserves that.
I want
That's
to
the
see
crossover
NXT guys go to TNA. That's what I want to see. I don't have anyone. I want to see how that is them going to another brand.
It would be interesting
That's
to
what they're saying,
see
yeah.
that and what it would do for TNA viewership. If it would really pop it or not. Because NXT is not like... Maybe if they had like Braun Breaker or somebody that's like just came out of NXT go over, it might pop
I don't think
it,
it'll
but
be anyone on the main roster.
They're
now.
kind of all on the same level, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. So we got some contract talk. Probably the biggest one being Becky Lynch. She's a free agent as of June 1st. She's finally, as we all I think anyone with half a brain cell predicted, she dropped the title, and then that's a shout at the professor. She dropped the title and she walked off into the sunset. She's not going anywhere, right? I mean, she's taking a break, spending time with her kid.
I doubt it.
Enjoying the royalties of her book, spending time with her husband.
I don't like to take chance.
Oh, now we're all
since
risk averse. Now we're all risk averse. Okay, all right.
No, this has me slightly concerned a little bit. I mean, the proper send off has me like, okay, you know, are they going down? Are they doing the MJF where they pretend like she doesn't have a contract, but she really signed one a while ago?
Yes.
Is that what we're doing? I mean, is this storyline? You don't know. That's what makes this business so great right now, is you don't know what's kayfabe. You don't know anything. You don't know what's real, what's not real. You don't know who's going where. I mean, if it's a story like MJF where she really did sign and it's just, we're going to disappear and her return's going to be all the more shocking when it does. Or this really could be, does she show up on June whatever on AEW? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It has me slightly concerned because a wrestler or a talent like Becky Lynch, you don't want to see uncertainty. Uncertainty is not good. And if they really are way off on the contract, that's not good either. And Tony Khan has said he's going to open up the war chest on a few people. And is that what we're seeing here?
Can they keep contracts quiet, though, in a publicly traded company like that? Or is that still...
For 3 months. And even then, you can hide the numbers. You can be like, oh yeah, we have, you know,
You just don't address it.
I mean, really, the only real way would be to get someone during the question and answer period on the call to be like, you have several big agents. What are your plans? And then they'll give some non-specific answer. Oh, we're pursuing them aggressively, and da 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 da. You know, I think that there are only a few people in WWE that I would say this about, especially in comparison to like. In comparison to AEW, there are only a few people that I think are so on brand for WWE that they're off brand for AEW, and I think Becky Lynch is one of those people. Like, I think it would be off brand for her to go to. It would be.
I don't think she'd do well at AEW.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I just don't think she'd do well.
Like Charlotte's another one. I don't think she would do well.
Look, you know,
AEW
the only thing that has me concerned with people like Charlotte and Becky Lynch is that what they're doing is just getting recycled over and over and over again, right? Like, they want to change. You know, like Kevin Owens and Brock. You know, I just want to Edge. I just want to Adam Copeland. I just want to wrestle some different people. I get that. Like, you know, you're in WWE for so long, you wrestle everybody. There's a lot, but I don't think. When you're someone like Becky Lynch, where are you going to make out better going to AEW? You're just not. Like, her statue, I mean, Sasha Banks, let's see how that goes. Let's see how that goes first. Or Mercedes Malone, whatever. Let's see where that goes. I mean, I don't think people like Charlotte and Becky Lynch would do well at AEW. I don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think
them.
Roman Reigns would do well there. Like,
no, they don't.
They're like too WWE. They're just too on brand. Mm-hmm. They've become the Frankenstein's monsters. They're so warped and fixed inside that highly polished, glossy, heavily produced environment, and they haven't had a hell of a wrestling match in a long time.
That said, her signing with AEW, big problem, if you ask me. That's going to cause WWE a lot of problems. Her signing with AEW.
Her signing anywhere.
That's not going to look good.
Yeah, because AEW's secured up a lot of their talent long term now. It's going to be another few years before I think any of the really
and
big
money,
names
you know,
on the
maybe with
chopping
Becky
block.
Lynch and I will say Seth Rollins, because they are a family. Maybe money is important to them, and if she's not getting it, here's the problem.
Well,
if she's not getting a deal like Seth Rollins is getting, she's in AEW. That's where you know.
This is not a two-way street, though. Just like I said, there's a few people in WWE that would be off-brand for AEW. I think it's way more the other way around. I think there are a lot of people in AEW that would not work in WWE. Darby Allin would not work in WWE. I don't think Sammy Guevara would work in WWE. I don't think Thunder Rosa would work in WWE. Like, there's a lot of people that can't go the other way. So when it comes to securing talent and stuff like that, I think Tony Khan has a real advantage with the people that he has in-house.
I agree with that.
And a lot of the people are classics, like the Hardy Boys. It's like, yeah, let them go.
I'm glad you brought that up, because when they brought Matt Hardy and Deletion back, I said they're willing to sign anyone now.
TNA, yeah.
When they did that, I'm like, okay, WWE.
Yeah,
back
for
in,
sure.
I said WWE would never sign Matt Hardy and Jeff with the whole Deletion, and they did. And they came back and they did that storyline almost. Like,
that'll be the NXT crossover, the return of the Hardy Boys.
Ever since they've done that, I really think they can sign anyone. So I kind of disagree with that.
As far as the pay, though, we got to do another paycheck or salary video like we did back in the day. I'm willing to bet Becky's one of the highest in WWE.
She might make more than Seth.
I wouldn't be surprised.
She might make more. Yeah.
I bet you they're pretty. I would
they'd be
say,
comparable, but
I would say they're both them, and
now,
I get there together, but I would say they're both equivalent in their sides. She's the same on the women's as him in the men's.
Now that Ronda's gone, now that Sasha's gone, I'm sure Becky's right up there with Charlotte. She might even be more than her.
And she's been a lot healthier for a lot longer, so they've got a lot more incentive.
They
to
can't
keep
lose
around.
her.
Yep. One other note, too, Chad Gable's contract is up this upcoming week. No deal yet. He is one of the guys that could go the other way, and I think do very well.
Move on.
I would love for him to go to AEW.
This weekend, in that match with Sammy, all I could think of was, that is freaking Kurt Angle. He is Kurt Angle part 2.
Oh, he is for sure.
Thinking back to that storyline of Kurt Angle's kid, and they picked
Chad
Gable's
I said that back
partner.
when they did it.
And he really,
God.
and he has a willingness to do anything with the whole shoosh thing and this heel turn. Like, there's an enthusiasm there.
I don't understand where. Anyways,
mistakes. Speaking of going the other way, Ethan Page, released by AEW recently, makes his debut on NXT.
Released or left?
Well, I don't know. Is no
Either
longer
way.
with
Yeah.
I think Loud Donnie
AEW.
got released.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he chose not to or what. It was
Contract ran out.
I think the feeling was mutual, I guess, is the takeaway. He debuted at NXT.
Another secret debut. Yep.
And then, that NXT crowd's getting quite a few treats. They're pumping a little adrenaline to the NXT
That's
system.
awesome. I've always been a fan of his. That's going to be great.
He's a good guy. Hopefully they give him some air now that some of the bigger
He
names.
went right after the title, I think. He was holding up
They
the
put him
world
right
title.
in the title picture, yeah.
Yeah, they want to make him look strong coming out of the gate, so that makes a lot of sense. Good for him. Some more releases backstage with WWE. I didn't see the explicit list, but my suspicion is that this is more obsolescence based off of TKO.
Yeah, that was my guess. I had it written down and I forgot where I put it.
I didn't see the specific list, but I don't think there were nothing jumped off the page. Will Ospreay is apparently encouraging behind the scenes Scott D'Amore to get involved in AEW. You know, there could be some fun there with Maple Leaf Wrestling. You know, obviously AEW spends a lot of time. They do loops through Canada and everything. We could see some cool crossovers there. Honestly, I just love to crack Scott D'Amore's head open and peer inside and get some really good ideas because he's got some good ideas. Maybe could be interesting to bring him on to specifically involve the Owen Hart tournament or something.
They're involved
too.
in too many
Could be
people
cool.
already, AEW. They need more crossover.
They need more backstage help.
Well,
that's true.
They need more story. They need more stuff like that.
I'm really glad you brought that up because supposedly now the latest is obviously Warner Brothers losing out on the NBA contract. That's basically dead and buried. So now everybody's looking at, AEW, the agreement that they're trying to foster with AEW. Supposedly Tony Khan's not very happy with the initial offer that Warner Brothers made to him. No specifics out yet, but has said that he is interested in extending Dynamite to 3 hours. Now I know there's some mixed opinions at this table, but that does kind of solve one of the problems. Well, I should say two of the problems. One, we know that viewers are willing to hang out past the 2-hour deadline on Dynamite because Rampage has been moved multiple times and there's been pretty good numbers in that time slot afterwards. And two, if the roster is getting too big, you can either shrink the roster or grow the amount of TV time that you have. Either one of those is supposedly going to solve the problem, and I think this would just about even them out with WWE, right? Maybe one more. I think they're still 1 hour short because NXT is 2 hours now, right?
Yep.
So this would get them one step closer to evening up with WWE as far as time on television or live time on television.
It makes more sense though to have Dynamite be 3 hours or to make Rampage 2 hours?
Man, Rampage
and
is,
move Rampage to a different
they just
time,
keep getting
obviously.
treated like the ugly stepsister. I think that it needs to be ladies' night or whatever, and they need to give the women Rampage and let them run with it. I'm going to keep pitching that. They could leave it at 1 hour if they did that. Unless you move it to a different time slot. Oh, so 10 to midnight now on Friday?
Yeah.
It's just, I think you'd be better off making it a 3 hour
They could move
show,
it to
that's
Sundays and have it be a precursor to the pay-per-views like Sunday Night Heat used to be.
I don't think that's going to do
I
anything
think
for your
for
viewership.
AEW, there's only one reason to go to 3 hours. It's the money. It's the money. It's all. I mean, it's the advertising. It's the more in the contract. It's all it is.
It
and
seems to
Tony
be
Khan's
angling
trying
that
to
way.
make some money. I mean,
They-
they're trying to get money back.
They reallocated. They moved Rampage as an experiment because Rampage no one cares about it and the ratings are terrible. They move Rampage as an experiment to figure out what's going to work. 3 hours seems to work. Great. Now Tony can go back to them and say, well, okay, I'm not thrilled with the deal you made. What if we add another hour on top of Dynamite and see what happens? It seems to me like it's just a negotiation.
Here's the
tactic.
problem I feel. I still feel the cards are in Warner Brothers' hands, even though they haven't officially lost the rights to NBA. It's rumored that
It's not looking good.
It's not looking good to Comcast. But the reality is, where does AEW go? And where they go? I mean, there's not many options for them. All the companies that WWE is signed with are off the table.
They're going. If they don't sign with WBD, they're 100% going streaming. It's going to be Amazon Prime.
And I'm
it's gonna
sorry,
be
that's
Paramount, it's
gonna.
gonna be,
First off, I don't think Amazon's gonna touch AEW. I don't.
No, but I just mean it's going to be some streaming.
But
oriented
here's
type
the
thing.
thing with streaming: if it's not Amazon, it ain't nothing. for AEW. I don't know what other alternative is out there. Hulu? What other type of streaming? I mean, they're not going Netflix, Amazon. Where would they go streaming? Their own streaming? I think that kills the AEW product trying to do their own type of streaming. I mean, what outside of Amazon, Netflix? What are the top streaming?
Disney. Oh.
Disney's not going to touch AEW. And neither is Fox. Well, Fox. I mean, that's basically Disney.
Yeah.
Paramount,
So
CBS.
And Hulu's Disney. So, I mean, where do they go? There's nowhere for them to go. They have to come up with a deal. This whole marriage, I think, between Warner Brothers and AEW, it's going to happen. It's AEW is trying to find the upper hand.
There's
If
not
what I
enough
read,
suitors. There's
they
not enough
offered
suitors.
them a deal. They just Tony Khan just doesn't like it.
WWE, TKO had WWE spread themselves nice and thin. They've cornered the market.
All over.
There's only 5 different suitors, and 3 of them are with WWE now. So that leaves only two gals to dance with. So
And
I mean, there's a good point to that.
AEW may get a little bit more if they don't get the NBA rights, but I still think it's all in Warner Brothers' hands.
They're going to have a lot of money to play with if they don't get the NBA and they get a really good deal.
But here's the reality also is that Warner Brothers is going to spend the money somewhere else. They'll go after MLB. They'll go after NASCAR. They'll go after something. They're not going to put all their money into AEW.
Start making more movies.
I mean, Tony Khan's got to understand the situation. Yeah, he got effed over by WWE signing with 3 of the major players. I mean, it is what it is. That's what you're up against. You know?
That hurts. I don't know. YouTube? Sign with Google?
Good.
Google's good.
I don't
YouTube
think
TV's doing a bunch of live
If you're
stuff
not
now.
doing Amazon or Netflix, I just don't think streaming's going to help you. I don't. I think it's going to hurt them going off of Warner Brothers to YouTube live show or
they do need to go streaming.
an X live show or something. Like, it's just...
Well, X Live would kill them. Yeah, that's 100%. They'd be better off going off on their own. All right, and last but certainly not least, the bankrupt Vice is still managing to keep their head above water somehow, thanks to wrestling. They've set a June 4th this week air date for episode 1 of their Who Killed WCW series. Have you seen the preview for it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Looks pretty good. Nash is on there. Bischoff is on there. They've got a bunch of behind-the-scenes guys.
The only thing I'm thinking is it's not going to have much influence from WWE, so it may be very close to the truth and not the whitewashed version.
It's definitely going to be closer. I thought I saw something in one of the previews that was like, because everyone's thought is like, doesn't WWE own like all the footage? But it looks this is all like home camera footage basically. But it seems like there's a lot of inside baseball with people that are in the industry, that were in the industry then.
Yeah, I think DDP's on it. I think Booker T's on it. So
Yeah.
a lot of the old guys.
So
Off of that question, real quick, who did kill WCW? Name a person real quick, not even just off the top of your head. Who killed WCW?
Ted Turner.
No.
Vince Russo.
Ted Turner.
Yeah, it was on its way down when Vince
He
came in.
just gave up hope and didn't put any more money in.
No, Ted had his hands tied.
Yeah, the
When
AOL merger.
When AOL merged with them, him deciding to do that is what screwed it. He loves wrestling. He didn't do it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he was making everything okay.
Yeah,
And
but
then-
one could argue WCW died well before that merger.
No, it was still pretty high up there when the merger
Have you read Nitro? It's a book about the death of WCW.
He hasn't
and
read it.
It's abundantly
I don't
clear.
read.
All right, get the audiobook then.
Read by Eric Bischoff.
But yeah, I mean it's clear. Ted signed that deal. AOL did not give a shit. They didn't understand wrestling. They didn't care about it.
They wanted to get rid of it.
And they saw it as a huge money suck. And they wanted to get rid of it. All right, moving on. So, I know we've been talking a lot about Double or Nothing, but something else happened this weekend. Way over in the Middle East, we had the Queen and King of the Ring, or is it King and Queen of the Ring? I don't know. So let's just run through the results
in
real
Saudi,
quick.
so
Well,
King has to
actually,
come first.
why don't we do this? Yeah, I'll run through the results really quick, and then we'll just talk about highlights, because I don't want to spend a lot of time on this one. This was a short PPV. PLE, sorry. So, very early, wasn't even in our predictions. We had the women's tag championships, Cargill and Belair going to the mat against LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Throwaway match. No big surprise there. No huge spots.
Candace is so wasted.
I don't know why they'd be doing a... yeah, I liked her and Indy Hartwell together. That was nice. Becky Lynch defending her championship against Liv Morgan. Drops the championship. Liv Morgan is now the women's world champion. Good for her. Congratulations. Sami Zayn successfully defended his Intercontinental Championship from the onslaught of Chad Gable and Bronson Reed. Even after the match, I still defend my argument. WTF was Bronson Reed doing there?
To take the pin.
And Chad Gable is a wasted talent. In the Queen of the Ring final, it ended up being Nia Jax versus Lyra Valkyria.
So...
And many hearts were broken.
We picked
Bianca.
We did not pick Lyra.
We did not. No, we didn't.
So I think we should get a half a point for that.
That's fair enough.
At least.
We both thought Bianca Belair would make
is
it.
the queen of
And
the ring.
Nia Jax is the Queen of the Ring, which means that, if I understand this right, she will be taking on Liv Morgan? Or does she get to choose?
Whatever
brand.
Whatever brand she's on, she goes for that title at SummerSlam.
I think she's Raw. I'd have to look it up. I can't remember. Anyways, so Nia Jax is officially the 2024 Queen of the Ring. In the men's, in the King of the Ring tournament, Gunther ends up winning over Randy Orton. I think it's the next logical step in his career. Now he's going to get a title shot at SummerSlam. Good for him.
Against Cody, right? He's on SmackDown?
He's on Raw.
Oh, so it'd be against Damian. All right.
Yeah, no, they left Imperium on Raw and they moved, what's his name over? Vinci. And Cody Rhodes successfully defends his title against Logan Paul. To me, this just seemed like a money grab. I don't think anyone really thought Logan Paul was going to win and hold both championships.
No Prime logo on the ring.
No Prime logo, so you know for sure he's not going to win because there's no way he's going to let himself win without having his logo right behind him. Honestly, I thought the coolest thing from this was the camera work. I saw...
Oh, yeah, on the Logan Paul.
That was cool. There was just... I mean, they've been doing a lot of camera experimentation. It's makes it look more theatrical. It makes it look more dramatic. It does add and make it look a little bit more polished. I guess my final question is, what do we think of this new 5-match format? This is the second pay-per-view they've done a 5-match. Well, I guess 6 because they added the...
No, they've been keeping them short. Like
but they've been keeping them real short.
That's good. It's
short is better.
The AEW shows tend to get a little long. Prior to this, I mean, a few years ago.
A little long?
I mean,
look at that.
Yeah.
Look at the difference. Did you hear me counting it? Well, you were done. I'm going 1, 2, 3. A little long. There's 12 matches on this.
WrestleMania,
Holy
just
shit.
a few years ago, was 8 hours long.
Hey, WrestleMania is one thing. I remember plugging in the TV box back in 2001 when I went to Queensbury Middle School and watching getting the little box on and calling Time
Those
Warner.
shows were 3 hours.
But 3 hours, but they weren't 12 matches.
Yes,
How
they
long
were.
were these matches? How long
Dude,
were these?
The first WrestleMania had 23 matches on
But
it.
how long were these matches?
some of them were very long. Some of them weren't very long.
I mean, by the time I get down here, I forget what's up here.
That's why you write it down.
But I don't want to talk too much about the King because I'm going to shit on it. So I'll say that one for Matt's next topic. But it's just another. This is just a nothing pay-per-view. That's all it is.
And
nothing happened.
We got another one coming up literally.
It's
in 2
no
weeks.
different than what was the one last month.
They're going to be
Backlash.
Yeah, no different than that one.
Clash
These are
at
two
the Castle.
pay-per-views that meant absolutely nothing.
And Clash at the Castle won't either. It's gonna be the Drew McIntyre show.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing it for.
This is just filler.
Yeah, I didn't think it was very good. I thought that I was a little... Actually, honestly, this left a bad taste in my mouth because I do not want to see Nia Jax in the main event at SummerSlam. And now we're going...
Oh, she's due for a title reign.
And now...
They need her as a title reign. They need a villain to run the title.
Well, then, is she going to take it from Bayley or is she going to take it from Liv Morgan?
Yeah, I feel like she's going to face Bayley. I feel like that's what they said. I think she's on SmackDown.
So that means she's going to take... So you think she's going to take Bayley out at SummerSlam?
No, I think she'll take out Liv Morgan.
She's on SmackDown, so she's going to challenge for the.
Now I gotta check
for the women's championship, or for the WWE Women's Championship, the undisputed Women's Championship. Yeah, I mean If that, I mean,
Yeah, she's on SmackDown.
so they're gonna have her.
She's gonna face Bayley.
She's gonna face Bayley at SummerSlam, the one night event, in Cleveland. Cleveland. At least we're not Detroit. We're not Detroit. Don't you remember those old videos? I'm gonna show them to you later. Very funny. Anyways, that's all I've got. That is WWE King and Queen of the Ring. Moving on. Matt has a rant here, and I'm very excited because
you're not going to do the results of Double or Nothing?
He hasn't ranted. Oh, we want to do Double or Nothing too? Okay.
I thought we were...
This whole page? How did we skip
Sorry,
over this?
I didn't know that. No, I can run through this one really quick. Okay, so first up, the first buy-in match, Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purrazzo. Purrazzo goes over. There was no prediction from us because that was a late arrival. Same thing with the next match, the second buy-in, which was the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass versus Cage of Agony. Acclaimed and Daddy Ass go over again. No prediction there. Will Ospreay versus Roderick Strong really lived up to the hype.
That was my match of the night.
Very technical. Will Ospreay ends up winning the AEW International Championship. Very awesome to see. Definitely the right way to do it. Roderick Strong really held his own. Next match, Bang Bang Gang. The Unified Trios champions took on Death Triangle. Really cool match. Awesome to see Death Triangle together again. My God, Pac the Bastard is awesome. Another excellent match. Bang Bang Gang holds their own. Timeless Toni Storm takes on Serena Deeb in the AEW Women's World Championship. This one dragged. This is one that I would have definitely shortened, and I didn't like. This was the worst match of the night for me. I don't know if you agree.
Mm-hmm.
Toni Storm, of course, holds the title. Then the grudge match, Trent Beretta versus Orange Cassidy. Cassidy trying to avenge his old best friend that's out injured. Cassidy goes over. God, I'm a genius because I predicted that. Chris Jericho and Hook and Shibata go against each other for the FTW Championship. Chris Jericho holds. Good guess, Matt. Very disappointing that we did see outside involvement from Big Bill, but we did not see outside involvement from Taz, which is what we should have seen.
Yeah, we saw some dice though.
We did
That was new.
We did see some dice. Another match that I could have gone without, Jon Moxley.
This could have been on Dynamite
versus Takeshita. This should have been. It would have been a really good main event for Dynamite. Actually,
did the same exact match this week against Rocky Romero.
Again, I thought for sure there'd be blood in this match, and there wasn't a drop to be found. Jon Moxley looked tired and old. One of the best.
Does he not look bad? I think he looks very bad. He just looks like I don't know.
He got sober, and this happens sometimes when people get sober. They get fat and bloated.
And we both picked Takeshita to win that match too, and
because it wouldn't have meant anything if he didn't. Was our conversation? We said if he doesn't win, why the heck are you having it?
But it makes sense if you think New Japan doesn't want their champion to win on an AEW show,
maybe,
or lose on an AEW show.
I just assumed that they wouldn't mind, given that Forbidden Door is right around the corner, and they'd have a chance. Anyways, next match. This was badass. Barbed wire and steel cage match. Malachi Black versus Adam Copeland. This made up for all the blood we thought we were going to see.
Gangrel return.
And the great return of Gangrel and a really great finish. The crowd loved it. One critique, Taz, you should have waited to a count of 3 before you said it's Gangrel. Said it a little too early, kind of spoiled it. Mm-hmm. Great pop from the crowd. Really fun to see. Adam Copeland broke his leg.
We picked Black to win. Copeland retained. And then injured himself. I don't know.
I think I called the Gangrel return debut, whatever you want to call it. I haven't heard that guy's name nor said it in about 20 years, and just 2 weeks ago I said it. Even Matt laughed when I said it here on one of the gauntlets. What was it? Well, I
long
forget.
hair.
Long hair. I said Gangrel, and sure behold, they must have been watching our show because the next week he debuts or returns, whatever, in AEW.
We need to listen more closely because you must have said Gangrel will be a Double or Nothing. That must have been what that was. So we need to make sure and listen more closely next time. And definitely the best women's match of the night. Willow Nightingale, the TBS champion, took on Mercedes Moné, and thank heavens, after 5+ months of hype, Mercedes Moné finally hit the ring. She did not disappoint. Both of
She
them
looked good.
clearly knew each other very well, performed excellent.
And then she wrestled again on Dynamite this week, so she
had another great match.
Yeah.
And Monet took the championship home. Very good job. In what has to be just what can only be interpreted as a pretty significant disrespectful move against Swerve Strickland. He was not in the main event, the final match of the night.
They covered that up by saying these last 3 matches were 3 main events.
Yes.
Tough decision. You got a lot of stuff going on.
Everybody knew it was complete and total bullshit.
But Swerve hasn't been in a main event since he's had the title.
Yeah, they're really
On
cucking
Dynamite,
him.
on a pay-per-view, nothing.
They're really neutering him big time, unfortunately. But he did have a good match against Christian Cage.
Yep.
A lot of animosity built up with Christian Cage's son and stuff like that. There was some really good storylines going on there. Solid match. Swerve Strickland retained. Christian does exactly what the old guys are supposed to do, put the young guys over. And then Matt's favorite match of the night. This was the main event. The Anarchy in the Arena match. The Elite, Okada, Bucks, and Perry against Team AEW, FTR, Bryan Danielson, and Darby Allin with the Elite. That's the heels going over in a very long, very exciting match that did not have nearly enough food in it, for my opinion.
Too much.
Hated this match.
It was now I did not watch the first 2, the buy-in matches. It was 4 1/4 hours, I want to say. It went past midnight.
It started at 8. Yeah, it was a little past midnight.
It was maybe 12:15, so it was maybe 4 1/4, 4.5 hour, 4 1/4, 4 1/3 hours, something like that.
When you can't name a main event.
WWE has done the same.
No, but it's too much.
Okay, but wait.
Save
wait.
Mercedes Malone for another pay-per-view.
Wait. No, don't do that. No.
But why not? Swerve, Christian, save that for another.
No,
why? You
there's
don't need to do it
three
all.
matches didn't need to be on this card. You could have trimmed
Beretta
3.
Cassidy, Moxley Takeshita, and the FTW. They could have taken
It's not-
those 3
no.
off.
Those are not the 3 that I picked.
Seriously?
Two. I picked 2 others. I would have taken off Toni Storm versus Serena Deeb. Pick a better opponent. But I
Yes.
think with Serena Deeb out there, she shouldn't have been on there. And I would have taken out the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass versus Cage of Agony.
That's the buy-in. I meant on the main
The
show.
number of matches is one problem. That's not even the problem.
That's
I'm
not a
going
problem.
with.
That's not
the
a problem.
problem is you have 3 matches that should be main event.
That's not a problem.
You didn't even put your champion as a main event.
That's
This other one, here's a great storyline with the Elite, but what are you going to do with that? You can't put that in the middle of the show either. And
You
Mercedes
open.
Malone, who just debuted a couple weeks ago, it's her first pay-per-view. You can't make her first. She's got to be. There's too many main events.
This is the difference. I'll make it really simple.
For once, they got too much going on.
What's the price of a Peacock subscription? $12.99.
$12.99, I think.
Okay, $12.99, $50. That's why this is 3 times the size of this. That's why there was 3 times as much wrestling on this show as there was, because it costs 3 times as much.
Am I appalled by the number of matches? Yes, but that's not my argument. My
get
argument
what you
is
pay for.
There's too much in the main. You have too many. For once, they have too many storylines going on. You can't decipher which one should be the main event. You really can't.
You can.
Yes, you can.
You can.
You don't say there's 3 main events.
Yes, that's what you do. You say this is the match of the night, and it should be Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage.
The only reason the Anarchy match goes on last is because it's the craziest and they're going all over the place. But ideally, that should be.
You stabbed it in your champion's back.
Ideally, that should be in the middle of the card somewhere.
Should have opened up the show.
I mean, if you're willing to have if you're willing to have a cage match in the middle of the card where a guy comes out of the effing ring, you should be able to clean up the ring area. But when you're setting people on fire and whatever, you don't know what's going to happen. And so I kind of understand it a little bit, but you shouldn't have had that match to begin with. You shouldn't have had the Anarchy in the arena. So overall, excellent pay-per-view. Maybe better than All In last year. I thought it was very good.
Better than All In?
I mean, we didn't even talk about the fact that MJF came out. We did mention Gangrel, so it really wasn't fair not to mention MJF.
Don't forget Juice Robinson. He's back, too.
Yeah, the Juice. The Juice is loose.
I should never mention Grant Grell's name. I don't really talk about that.
Now he's back from the dead. So anyways, those are your WWE King and Queen of the Ring.
Somebody else from the Attitude Area we could mention here, and they'll show up in AEW.
Oh, yes. Who do we want to conjure?
How about Midian? Want to see a Midian? Naked Midian running around. There you go.
You know what? Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle. We know he's alive.
I'm pretty sure he's already been in AEW.
We know he's alive.
No one wants to.
No, that's it. I'm calling it right now. Hornswoggle, AEW. We're going to see it.
So
That would be crazy if he actually shows up.
We'll know that it was my powers then.
We know Tony Khan watches this show.
Well, no, I think it just show that we have some power that we wield around here.
All right, so let's get on to our other mid-card match here. So this has been a running theme for a couple of months now. There is more proof that WrestleMania is no longer special. I'm pretty sure it was last week we talked about this, and you said one of the things that still makes WrestleMania special is the road to WrestleMania. It starts at Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble winners get a title shot.
It's 3 months.
It sets off
almost.
3 months. The winners of King of the Queen of the Ring, just announced last week, get title shots at SummerSlam. We already talked about it. Nia Jax is going to face Bayley, and Gunther's going to face... He's on Raw, you said? So he's going to face Damian Priest? So now SummerSlam has its own road to SummerSlam, which is 3 months away. How is WrestleMania still special?
It's called WrestleMania. No. That's why it's special.
What?
It's WrestleMania, Matt. It's WrestleMania. That's all you need to say. You are trying to argue that just WrestleMania. WrestleMania. That's all you need to say.
If you are a casual fan who does not follow the day-to-day wrestling, you turn on the network in August and you see SummerSlam, you see pyro going off, you see this giant stadium.
It's been that way for a while.
Only the last couple of years. They don't know this is SummerSlam. They think this is WrestleMania. It looks no different. Everyone gets their special entrances. Everyone gets their special costumes. Everyone gets their title shots from 3 months ago.
Okay. So your argument is essentially we have started down the road to SummerSlam. This is the road to SummerSlam.
My argument is WrestleMania is not special anymore.
Right, but the basis for your argument is that this is the new road to SummerSlam to mimic the road to WrestleMania that I was talking about, right?
That's
your
what
argument.
It seems like,
okay.
Yes.
So that means that now, every time somebody secures a match, specifically for a championship match at SummerSlam, they're going to hang a gigantic 50-foot SummerSlam sign in every arena that they're in. And they're going to stand up on the edge and they're going to point at it, and there's going to be an iconic shot of them pointing at the SummerSlam sign. And there's going to be fireworks that come out of it. Because that's what they do on the road to WrestleMania.
Now Hornswoggle's going to show up in AEW, and there's going to be a SummerSlam
I'm
sign.
saying if you want to compare the two, you need to compare the two. And this seems to be a way to shoehorn some kind of significance so that they can bribe more money out of the Saudi royal family. This does not seem like a road to SummerSlam to me. If over the course of the next 6 weeks, they start lining up all these SummerSlam matches and they start saying like, oh yeah, and the SummerSlam card is secured like well in advance of SummerSlam, not like the week of or even 2 weeks before, like way in advance we know what these matches are going to be, then I'm like, oh well, maybe he kind of has an argument there. If people start talking about having their SummerSlam moment or whatever, then I'd be like, okay, I can kind of understand how these are the two. But there is a difference.
No one is ever going to say SummerSlam moment.
Or the
somebody
equivalent.
might.
Whatever the equivalent.
Just from a visual standpoint, when you're sitting there watching the show, WrestleMania feels no different from Royal Rumble or from the matches themselves. The Royal Rumble match, that's its own thing. But SummerSlam feels no different. Backlash in Puerto Rico felt no different. Saudi Arabia feels no different. They're all set up exactly the same.
No.
WrestleMania does not feel the same as it once did.
Okay. First off, there was absolutely zero promotion at all about these King and Queen winners going to SummerSlam. It was
that was a last minute.
Yeah, it was a last minute thing.
They don't know what they're doing. That type of shit right there drives me crazy with WWE. When you drop bombs like that, and it's just like, oh, you didn't know that 3 weeks ago? You didn't know that a month ago? You didn't know that to help build the hype of King and Queen? You drop it the day of or the day before, whatever they did.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no, you just literally went through 4 weeks of promoting Raw and SmackDown for qualifier matches, and you don't think it was important to identify what they were for? There's nothing. I mean, it brought up, I don't understand. That to me, that still shows that they're not they're not really SummerSlam. First off, SummerSlam's always been the second tier pay-per-view.
Yeah.
They're always gonna put attention into it. They're always gonna put whatever. But the pay-per-views here, King and the Queen and Backlash, they're not even close to WrestleMania. This isn't them trying to put any type of sanction on these matches for SummerSlam. I don't think that makes it. Are they trying to make SummerSlam a clear number 2? For sure. SummerSlam is the number 2. But nothing, all I have to say, Matt, is WrestleMania. That's all you have to say. Everybody knows what WrestleMania is. Maybe a small percentage less knows what SummerSlam is, but no one knows what any other pay-per-view is. Maybe Royal Rumble. Even Survivor Series? Nope. King of the Queen? Nope. Armageddon, Backlash, whatever they have, Hell in a Cell? Nope.
WrestleMania is the oldest, and then Royal Rumble's the next oldest.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble probably... people,
but that's what I'm saying. You have 40 years and 35 years of branding, and then SummerSlam you have 30 years basically, right? Isn't this like the 30th SummerSlam?
Their goal, and I think it always has been, they should have 4 major.
Was it the early 90s they started SummerSlam?
It was. I thought it came before.
And it was 88 was the Rumble, right? 88 was.
And SummerSlam's only that because of the way it ties into WrestleMania. It's like exactly halfway to WrestleMania. It's halfway through the year, pretty much. That's why they do it, I'm pretty sure. But isn't it like, that's like 8 months. So, I mean, I think they do their job in promoting the 4 pay-per-views, and they should. Those are their 4 major pay-per-view. But even when you put those 4 together, SummerSlam, maybe Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, they don't equal WrestleMania.
What about when SummerSlam goes to 2 days? We talked about
that's
that
a
last
money
week.
grab. That's all that is. They're looking for more money. This is TKO saying, how can we increase money? That's
but again,
them trying to
how
say.
do you make it different from WrestleMania?
That's for them to figure out. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you do. I just don't think people aren't going. I don't think they're going to sell out. I'd be shocked if those 2 SummerSlams is sell out. And
Where is it again?
They have
Minnesota.
and they have the caliber of WrestleMania is WrestleMania. It just goes us.
They will. They mark my words. They will make sure it sells out. If they're handing tickets out the week of the show for free, those stands are going to be filled both days.
But you know how you tell? Okay,
this
even if it
cannot
sells out,
be a
you know how
failure.
you tell the difference between that and WrestleMania? What the average cost of the ticket is. That's how you know the difference.
It's funny
when
you bring
people
that
are
up.
buying Survivor, or people are buying SummerSlam for $36, and they're buying WrestleMania for $120. There's your difference. There's your difference.
Yeah, there's a culture to it. Like I said, it's more time, more branding. From a storyline perspective, I'm 100% with you. Like they have a formula for WrestleMania that they think works, and now they're just trying to copy and pasting. And after SummerSlam, it's going to be Survivor Series, and there's going to be a Road to Survivor Series where they
should.
They try to add significance to whatever. I don't know whether it's going to be Fastlane or whatever stupid pay-per-view is going to follow SummerSlam on the heels of it, and everybody's going to be hungover from it. They're going to try to inject some kind of significance to it to get people to care, and the way they're going to do that is by saying, you're going to get a shot at Survivor Series to blah, 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 blah. It's the formula that they're copying and pasting, and it's not quite tiresome yet, but it will get that way very soon.
I get it for SummerSlam. I don't know if that formula works for the others. I mean, there's nothing going
The
on
big
in
four.
WWE in May, June, July, so I get it. What can we do differently to help build? And they're going to use the WrestleMania.
And then they're going to
formula.
have some tournament to make sure you can. Oh, you're going to get a spot at the Royal Rumble, and they're going to hand out 25 spots, and then there's going to be 5 surprises that pop up or whatever. That's just the formula that they found. It's going to use. But I don't think the culture of it hurts at all. You know.
I don't know. We'll see next WrestleMania if I'm still feeling this way. We'll see what happens. All right. Let's get to our main event here. So we mentioned at Double or Nothing, Edge got himself a little injured. Slightly. Fracturing his tibia, jumping off of the top of a cage, and landing on his feet.
Can I just say, he put a video out on X, I think yesterday or the day before. And it's basically just him on his porch talking, kind of like the video when he decided not to renew with WWE. And he goes, talk about a guy that really doesn't give a shit about his career at all. He goes, yeah, it's going to need surgery, but, my kid's birthday is on Friday, and I really just kind of want to enjoy that, so I'm going to push the surgery off till next week. Like, imagine 20 or 25-year-old Edge saying that. No way. No way that's happening. So he just does not.
How long is he out for?
it'll probably be a while. I mean, you're going to heal slow at 51, and it needs surgery. And
he had to relinquish. He was stripped of the TNT title.
If we see him at all, and I'll be surprised.
But this brings up the topic of the recent comings and goings of AEW. So now we've been talking about it for months now. All the people that have been out injured, all the top names have been out injured. Now he's out, and a couple others have left. Contracts expired, and they didn't renew. Jake Hager's gone, Mark Henry's gone, and Arn Anderson's gone.
Probably the biggest disappointment on any wrestler at AEW is Jack Haggard.
Jake Hager?
Jake. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why. He did nothing his entire time there. He literally.
I wonder what we're missing. Something's missing there because he was an A+
behind Chris
talent.
Jericho, and that's all he did. He really didn't do anything.
He was an A+ talent, even in WWE.
He did not do anything.
Very solid wrestler. I liked his gimmick in WWE.
He was. He debuted on the first episode of Dynamite as a surprise debut, but that surprise was supposed to be AJ Styles. But he ended up re-signing with WWE, so he was kind of a disappointment from the beginning with the fans.
And he was in great shape. And then they put a suit on him and they had him do nothing. Mm-hmm. And
there must be more to it. Maybe he just can't wrestle, or I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he was difficult to work with, or had ridiculous restrictions.
Did he ever really have a solo match?
Yeah,
a couple early.
They were usually on Dark or on Rampage or something.
Yeah, a couple early on.
He'll sign with WWE.
I don't know. I don't know if he will.
He'd have to take up his old gimmick.
Yeah. You know what? He could be very good at TNA.
That might be good.
That'd be a good spot for him. Yeah.
Maybe he'll go back into MMA though. I don't know.
And he could still end up on WWE. Even
I think
if he goes back to TNA.
I think they still say he's like undefeated in MMA or something.
Mark Henry,
hit the road,
pal. You traitor.
Dude,
get out of
here. Did you see the comments that he was making? All the comments.
Henry?
He was acting like. Yeah, I decided not to renew with them. And it's like, what value were you bringing? Like,
it's time.
They could get you to
main event.
Like, get you to be quiet on Busted Open Radio, so you wouldn't talk shit about them.
Mark Henry is an example of when Tony Khan was just trying to sign everybody. And I think he just don't need you anymore. I think, and let's be honest, Tony Khan was trying to sign anyway. Big Show, Mark Henry, all these people just didn't matter.
I don't think so.
He was just trying to sign them.
I think he had this vision of doing like a mentor-mentee situation with a lot of these younger people. So you bring in the Arn Andersons, you bring in the Big Shows, you bring in the Mark Henrys, you bring in the Jake the Snakes, you bring in the DDPs, and you have them work these angles and coach these guys through the character development. These guys are great technical wrestlers, but their character development, the stories, their promos, their work on the mic, backstage promo cutting, all that stuff needs work. And I think that he had this vision of like, I can't do it. I don't know the industry that well. So I'm going to bring in these experts that are going to come in and are going to be able to coach them through. And with a couple of exceptions, it really hasn't gone that well.
Mm-hmm. Mark Henry will re-sign with WWE. That's why he left.
Well,
I bet he wants to be a Triple H guy, and that's exactly what
he's going to be on a Legends contract, and he's going to sit in a booth and
I think he'll be a producer. I think he'll
papers.
go backstage at WWE for sure.
I
think Mark Henry wanted out to go be part of the Triple H crew.
Maybe, fine, okay, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think Tony was just signing anybody. I think there was a method to the madness behind it. It's just it didn't end up working out for whatever reason, and so now he's just saying, yeah, fine, okay, Big Show, like, don't really need you now. I do think he expected Big Show to actually wrestle when he first got there.
Well, he did one match,
and he did show up once,
just for. Powerhouse Hobbs to slam him onto a car, and then he's gone.
Who? I don't know. Big who? Big Show? I don't know that.
Sorry, the Giant.
Andre the Giant's son.
Now that he left, he doesn't have any memory anymore.
So I think there was a method to it, but it didn't work out, and I think now he's just letting everybody go.
So the internet chatter. For the past week or so has been that Cody Rhodes wants or should have a manager. Now this news that Arn Anderson is gone. Is he going to go back to WWE and manage Cody again?
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think it's a terrible idea to give Cody a manager.
Arn's got a face for radio. He's not meant for...
A manager is good for a heel. I don't think it's good for a face.
And in this day and age... to get over as a manager, it's not like the old days where everybody had a manager because half the guys couldn't talk. Like now everybody's expected to talk. So you gotta be a Jimmy Hart, Paul Heyman, Paul Bearer like type manager to really have an impact and to really justify your value there. Like
Classic.
a lot of Pauls now that I'm thinking about it. But like you got to be like a Jim Cornette style. Like you got to really make an impact because it's like all these guys can talk for themselves, except for Brock Lesnar. All these guys can talk for even Roman Reigns can actually cut a promo. We knew that, but because Paul Heyman is Paul fucking Heyman.
I don't know if Roman Reigns can cut a promo. Even the last one he did, he screwed it up.
Well, he's a little out of practice since Paul Heyman came in, but a couple of years ago he could cut a promo.
Yeah, Paul Heyman defects from the bloodline to manage Cody Rhodes.
That was one theory going around, yeah.
And I think they kind of winked at that a little bit with some stuff.
Yeah. So, is this going to be all right for AEW then with these people going out?
Oh, we'll make a difference.
Who's going to be the next TNT champion? They're starting a tournament next week.
MJF?
Think so?
No, I don't think so. I think doing it as a tournament's the stupidest thing in the
Christian
world.
Cage will win it again.
No, I think
he's done with it.
I think they're going to try to add legitimacy to it, and I think it's going to go to Jack Perry.
Jack Perry. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Jack Perry or Sammy Guevara.
Oh, returning Sammy Guevara.
A return because he's due to come back any day now.
They won't give him anything. He needs to leave there.
And he'll be face. So if Sammy's face, he wins the championship, or
If
obviously
I was
Jack
him, I would
Perry.
have won out. I would want out after being suspended for, clearly there was a mistake there, but like, come on, give me a break. We're suspending people now because of that stuff. I fly the coop. I would say I'm done.
Or maybe he just needed a break and it's an angle. I mean,
he didn't need a break. He had a
kid.
good angle going.
no, he just had a kid. Him and Mello have been traveling around the world, as he will tell you. So,
Well, on that note, that is the show for this week. Be sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, get involved. Let us know what's going on. Any ring the bell this week?
Not this week.
Not this week. Ring the bell. Will be back soon. And if that's it, if you keep watching, we'll keep wrestling with business. See ya.